Hi friends, today we are going to do an entire Thanksgiving meal, and I'm going to show you that it can be quick, it can be easy, and it don't have to break the bank. So stick around and we'll go through it piece by piece. So the first thing we're going to tackle is the turkey. Turkey is traditional, but I don't have a huge turkey here. I've got what they call turkey tenderloins, and Butterball makes them. But if you got any kind of turkey breast, you can go to the grocery store and just get the turkey breast or whatever. I'm feeding a family of two, my wife and myself, so there's no need for me to buy a big old turkey. There won't be a lot of leftovers for me to try to figure out what to do with, but Butterball turkey tenderloins or some kind of turkey breast. Let's get started on this. Okay, here is the turkey breast. Now for turkey breast, I recommend putting them in a brine or a marinade for at least an hour before you start, and you can put it in there for longer than that. And then good old bacon. What's not to like about bacon? Then I put a little extra seasoning on it after I rinse the marinade off of it, because I like seasoning, that's the key. Bacon, season, turkey. And just a little tip, if you're bacon wrapping anything, it's better to use thin sliced bacon instead of real thick sliced. And also you can stretch it out just a little bit depending on the cut. But that's kind of a tip to wrap things up nice. So let's get to wrapping like a little present. Okay, so I've done a little weave right there. Basket weaving 101. And we're going to put the turkey on the middle and flip it upside down. And then we're going to tuck all this up and underneath it. Nice and neat. Just like that right there. So I'm going to do mine in the air fryer, and I'm going to take and tuck the loose ends real nice and neat up and underneath it. And these will be nice and brown after a while. So here we go. I've got a couple of them made up. I'm going to put a probe in it, and I'm going to cook it to an interior temperature of 165. And then close to the end of it, I'm going to either turn the broiler. If you got it in the oven, you can turn your broiler on to get your bacon crispy like you like it. Or if you're doing it in an air fryer, you can switch from bake to air fry for the last few minutes and get it done there. Oh yeah, as you can see, I've got the turkey breast in the air fryer at 400 degrees, and I'm just going to cook mine to temp. Now if you do use an oven, you can put them in the oven at 400 and go for about an hour, I think the instructions say, but check it to make sure you're not going way over 165. You got to hit 165 minimum. Let's keep on cooking. So now that we got the main dish going, we move on to the first side I'm going to have, and it's a mashed cauliflower. It's very simple, man. Go down to your local Walmart or grocery store and get you a bag of frozen cauliflower, and that's the start point. So let's move on with this one. All right, moving on to our next side, we have cauliflower. Now all I've done is went and bought a bag of frozen cauliflower, and this is 12 ounces. This is plenty for my wife and myself, but one bag, if you got a family of four, you might want to go with 2 or 3 bags, but for me, I got one bag. And for that one bag, I've got a tablespoon of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of sour cream, and then the magical butter. Butter to taste, I usually put about 2 teaspoons in mine, so that's what I like, and salt and pepper. Nothing else, nothing fancy. But the neat thing about this is you can just throw this whole bag in the microwave. But this particular one, it says steamable on top. Make sure it says that. If not, you can dump it out, put it in a bowl, add a little water and steam it up. But I'm gonna go put this in the microwave for 6 minutes. And then we'll come back and blend it all up. So my cauliflower is steamed up. A little tip, when you get it out of the microwave, it is hot. The bag is hot. And I always cut a little corner off and drain off some of the excess water if there's any in there. A lot of times there's not. But then just cut the top open and pour it into the whatever you're blending it up in. So, and I put the other ingredients in the bottom, the sour cream and the cream cheese and the seasoning and butter. I put that in the bottom of that. So let me blend that down. I'm using the immersion blender. That's what you can use a food processor or whatever you have available. You know, you just want to blend it until it gets to mashed potato consistency. So let's get that going. And there we have our mashed cauliflower. And just a little tip, cauliflower seems to take a little more salt than potatoes do, so season to taste always. Just test it before you give it to somebody else. That way if it's no good, you can fix it. All right, I got one more side. It's a real simple one too. A couple cans of green beans. Now I use the French style because they cook faster and I like mine real tender. But let's look at the green beans and how I prepare those, and you can add this as a side as well. So let's get going with our green beans. It's real simple. Pretty much all I've got is 2 cans of green beans. I drain off the liquid of one, and I leave about a half of the liquid in this one here, just to give it a little bit to cook in. So we throw those in the pot, or you can cook them in a pan, whatever. Now the secret to good green beans is seasoning, and minced onion makes a big difference. So I don't have an exact measurement, maybe a half a teaspoon, but just load that up with some minced onion. And then of course salt and pepper. I like my green beans heavily peppered, but season the taste, and I like using a coarse pepper, crack it. So I'm gonna put me a good little bit of pepper in there. And then I'm using Himalayan sea salt, whatever. Bought that at the dollar store, by the way. And so we'll pop a little bit of this in here. And then another secret ingredient is butter or bacon grease. And I'm going with the old bacon grease today. So I'm gonna get me a spoon of that and put in there. You can use whatever you like, but it's just to add flavor to it. You can add beef broth to it, chicken broth or whatever, just to give it some flavoring. But that's all there is to the green beans. Let's go throw them on the stove and let them cook down for a little bit. I know my family was big on Thanksgivings. My mom, she was all about it, man. She'd stay up all night long cooking. My grandma would stay up all night a lot of times for Christmas and things like that. And I remember one year my mom was in bad health, or my dad, they was having a hard time with their health, both of them. And we just said, well, Mama, this year we're going to eat pizza for Thanksgiving. And she's like, she didn't want to, but she finally just signed on and said, okay, it's about people instead of the meal. What she didn't know was we had planned, my brother and I, my wife, and all of us got together, we'd planned on making a Thanksgiving meal the best that we knew how. We were just newlyweds. My wife had never made a Thanksgiving meal, so we tried our best to get something together, and man, it really surprised her. So yeah, we made a new memory, and I got a picture of her smiling real big after she found out that it wasn't pizza that day. Let's get on back to cooking. All right, green beans are coming along really nice. Let's go on. So now we've got our mashed potatoes, but we need a little something to put on those mashed potatoes, and maybe even a little bit on the turkey. So I'm gonna make some brown gravy. Let's get into that. All right, breaking on down the gravy, let's go with it. So for the brown gravy, we have 2 cups of turkey broth, or chicken broth will work as well, 1/4 of a cup of garlic powder, a teaspoon of xanthan gum. If you've been doing keto any of my time, you probably have that in your house. We're going to do some salt and pepper to taste. And for this one, we're going to use either a teaspoon of bacon grease or butter, since I'm not using drippings or anything like that. So basically, you just pour it in a pot and let it start simmering. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the xanthan gum later. I'm going to go ahead and let it start blending up and cooking it down. So let's go with that and see how this turns out. All right, we'll go get this on the stove and simmering. One of the biggest things that kills me around the holidays is leftovers. You know, my wife used to make a delicious, and she still does if she wants to, a delicious chicken and dumpling recipe. And man, if I would have just had enough self-control to stop then, one serving and let it go. But no, if there's any leftovers, plus I get everybody else's leftovers, 4 or 5 big plates, fill the whole refrigerator up with leftovers. And being frugal as we are, we didn't want none of it to go to waste. So what we do, we became human garbage disposals. And I vowed I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to eat what I'm going to eat, and that's it. And then tomorrow's a new day after Thanksgiving. So maybe that's your problem. Maybe this year you can give the food away to other people, maybe that don't have a problem with diabetes and obesity and things like that, and you can be a blessing to them and just tell them, take it on home, I'm done. Let's get on back. All right, our gravy's coming along. I want to add a little bit of xanthan gum to it. And just a little side note about xanthan gum, go little at a time. Just like put maybe half of it to start with and see what that does. Because you can always add more later, but you can't take it back out. And then if you put too much, it's going to get clumpy on you. So put about a quarter of a teaspoon at a time. I'm going to let it cook down a little bit. Like I said, you can always add more later. So a little goes a long way as far as xanthan gum goes. All right, we'll let that simmer for a little bit. Hey, while it's Thanksgiving, I just want to say I appreciate you for subscribing and liking, and if you hadn't done that so far, I encourage you to have some good ideas for simple and easy keto meals and recipes, and follow my journey. My thinking is, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm just an old southern boy down here working in a factory, and I'm trying to become healthier, so follow along, see what happens next. So we've got all the dinner out of the way, and we need one more thing. We need dessert. And I got a simple, quick and easy recipe for pumpkin cheesecake dessert. It's real simple. So we've got 2 ounces of cream cheese, a tablespoon of pumpkin puree. Make sure that it's not pumpkin pie filling or anything. It's just got to be pumpkin puree. Teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and 1 egg. Let's get it in there and mix it up. So just add all the ingredients. I'm telling you, this stuff's not hard at all, and I just happen to have all these ingredients in my house today, so that was a blessing. But most of this stuff's common ingredients, nothing really elaborate. But all right, now we'll get the hot rod blender. You know the hot rod blender. We're gonna break it out, see what happens. Yep, I forgot, it also gets 2 teaspoons of powdered sweetener, so make sure you include that, and then we'll get to blending. There's the hot rod blender. I put some high test in her today, so she might run a little better. If you get that reference, you've been around a couple days probably, but she's gonna blend this up for us nice and neat. All right, so what we're going to do is pour this into a microwave safe dish, and I've also lined it with a little bit of butter, just greased it a little bit so this will come out easier. But we're just going to pour this in here, fill it up. That pumpkin spice smells real nice, I'll say that. All right, we're going to take our little bowl in there and put it in the microwave for about 2 minutes starting out with. The key is you want to see it bubbling up really nice in the middle when you're microwaving it. Just sort of keep an eye on it, and let's get that going. So it's what it looks like straight out of the microwave, and one of the things you can do to loosen it from the sides is just run a toothpick around it. like this here, so it'll pop out real easy if you want to put it on a plate, or you can just eat it out of this if you want. So I'm going to sprinkle a little cinnamon on this. Maybe, no, I don't have any whipped cream, so just going to be cinnamon on top, and there's dessert. Serving of 1 or maybe 2 if we split it in half. Very simple. I let it cook 2.5 minutes in my microwave, but I was looking for those big bubbles in the middle to pop, so you have to eyeball it. Check it out. Yeah, I know a lot of us struggle when it comes time for Thanksgiving and Christmas and holidays and birthdays or whatever, because a lot of our traditions are based around food. But let me encourage you, maybe starting now, to make the occasion about people and memories, and creating a new memory instead of an actual meal. I know the meal is important. I know there's a lot of tradition. You know, it's not Thanksgiving without a turkey, or it's not Thanksgiving without a ham. But you can still have a turkey and ham and some other things, and maybe you can do it without hurting Mama's feelings. You know, Mama, I can't have no banana pudding, okay? I'm not going to eat any. You know what? Mama's going to love you anyway. I promise. Your mom's going to love you anyway. These look about done to me. The internal probe, I don't know if you can see it, it's right there. It says number 1 on it. It's saying 165. So I pulled them. They're probably a little bit hotter than that now. But let's look at the instant read. 166, 167. Let's try this one. Yep, 175. They're done. And that bacon held in a lot of the moisture, so let's get this out of here. Now these did cook on 400 on the air fryer for about 40 to 45 minutes. You can cook them in the oven on 400. Just put them on a roasting rack or whatever, and go that route there. But let's take these babies off. Well, my friends, that is what I call a Thanksgiving dinner. Now, I might not eat all of that in one sitting. The turkey breast is a little big, but I might. It's feast time, but it's reasonable, practical. Now, over there's our dessert. We can have, it's best served warm. And if you got a little dollop of whipped cream to put on top, that's even better. But yep, there we have it. And the gravy turned out real nice. The turkey bacon, turkey and bacon turned out really nice. Of course, the green beans. I'm digging in, my friends. If I can do it, you can do it. Simple and easy. So there we have it. A simple, easy, affordable Thanksgiving meal. And if you're going to a bigger meal with your family, I encourage you to take something that you can eat, like something from today's recipe. If you're signed up to bring mashed potatoes, take some mashed cauliflower, because you know you're going to eat that. The rest of the family might hate you for it, but they might be surprised and like it. And you can't go wrong with taking turkey, or especially bacon wrapped turkey. Can't go wrong with that. So just try to incorporate it, and remember that it's about giving thanks for all that we've been blessed with. Be thankful for your family if they're still alive. And I know that during this time of year, a lot of people are sad because a lot of those family members are gone. But take this time to remember the good times and be thankful for those. Hey, until the next time, may the Lord bless you, and we'll eat some Thanksgiving dinner.